Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to the Tech Week. This is the episode 2, season 2. My name is Cameron Haslovich, and welcome to the studio again. Today, in this topic, in this episode, we're going to talk about 10-year projections. We're going to give you some prognosis for the future and how current innovation will evolve based on our observations. And we will focus on three main topics, namely, first, renewable energies and more energy efficient solutions. And second one is future of social media, future of information, how information will evolve and how an information consumption in general will look like in the future. And the third one is AI, artificial intelligence. Probably we will go into deeper in that topic, and and the main factors that we considered when we have projection for the future. Of course, it's not easy to give any like to have any idea about how the future will look like, especially in 10 years, given the fast pace of changes recently. And we understand the difficulty of it, but it will be really fun to have this kind of projection and expectation of the future. So basically, we will take two factors, which are first the viability and human demand, basically like human viability of that evolvement of technology, and the second one is industry demand or financial incentives, which are both of which are the driver of innovation waves and innovation. Let's get straight into the discussion. So basically, we will have three main focus areas where we want to discuss and want to kind of have an imagination about what the future will look like. Our main two factors that the two factors that we considered were first viability, meaning that human demand, whether or not there's enough human demand for the products that we will foresee in the future, and of course, financial incentives, namely industry demand. Is there enough industry demand? Is there enough investments in certain areas? And that will be, of course, one of the two main determinants of where this innovation trajectory and this innovation um, evolution will go to. Um, so let's get started with renewable and more energy efficient technologies. We are foreseeing as a tech week in 10 years by 2035, there will be more adoption of renewable energy sources and more clean energy. Cities will become more car free and much reliant on different micromobility solutions, different cleaner electric solutions. And of course, the grid infrastructure will be adopted to that. And by that time, I think 10 years, we want to say that it's quite a long time. So even though current trajectory with the global issues and then administrations, of course, roll back in renewable electric vehicles incentives, of course, is notable, but we believe that trajectory is still there. We believe that um, future is still in electric vehicles. So for that, on that note, battery advancements, of course, will make electric vehicles cheaper, and improvements in grid infrastructure, especially electric transmission and infrastructure that is supporting this uh, whole innovation, whole technologies, whole Internet of Things, will be, of course, will be ready by that, and many countries more than in the number of countries more than today. So and that technologies will be more pervasive in that sense. And of course, as countries are relying more on energy efficient technologies, China, of course, will be one of the um, uh, first lead in this area, and more rapid deployment of electric vehicles, and much more efficient incentives, especially government incentives and private incentives into this economy, will be especially interesting to watch in 10 years how it will how it's going to evolve, especially in terms of battery advancement. Chemicals and the batteries will be more efficient in 10 years as well, making cars, electric vehicles, much more cheaper, and making electric vehicles cheaper as well as lighter, so that it will require less energy and less resources to build the cars, therefore in more income and more attractive in investments in this area, in this business area, as well as wider adoption by much bigger portion of population. Let's get to second area of future where I see one of the most interesting one among others. So second one is future of social media. I called it future of social media, but we can call it future of information consumption, as a general naming, a more broader term for describing. And I think as a product, as a solution, I think mostly younger generation, and also almost like it's more like evenly spread. I think um, as a product, people would move away from extractive, exploitative business model, which rely on attention mining and grabbing people's sleep time and their quality of life. I think that model will evolve something healthier, and people will um, kind of focus on their personal well-being. I think the personal well-being will be much larger, will be bigger and larger industry, and people will pay for making their lives easier, making their lives better. They don't want to engage with exploitative, harmful, and attention-seeking algorithm. I think many people are already getting kind of sick of it. So this will affect future of social media, and in advertisers especially will accordingly adjust their position in this kind of world, in this kind of period. Even though currently we don't see as much change, we don't see many um, we don't see many turbulences, I would say, in that area, in that realm, but we will definitely see something that is profound. I think it's coming, especially younger generation. I think already are becoming really tired. Their mental health and their personal lives are being affected negatively by these technologies, and yeah, I don't think it will be norm, in my opinion. So that's our projection. So in 10 years, probably little bit personal gadgets and personal assistance will be will be there for us, helping us in our day-to-day lives, in our social needs, and maybe for other run errands, different tasks at home. So that will be, I think, future of information consumption, and Also, context generators will be another newly created positions. Um, Let me explain what context generator means. Um, content generators, people who are creating any content, entertainment or informational content. But in future of social media, we think that new category of products will emerge that is they will make people's life easier, and they will kind of digest the chunks of information. For example, what happened in 1 week, like in the last week, and kind of summarize the last week for me. So these context generators will be extremely helpful for us to consume the information, and the generation rate of information will exponentially grow in the future, making our brains, of course, unable to um, digest all of this information, and these roles will be handy in the future. So on the same vein, on the similar topic, um, of course, artificial intelligence is coming up, and currently we don't have artificial general intelligence, but we have we have artificial intelligence applications and interfaces that are specialized in different areas. But we are foreseeing that by 2035 there will be um, artificial and general intelligence, probably considering the rate of and amount of investment that is pouring into this industry and this technology, and especially considering that there is a huge human demand. Companies, individuals, every almost every stakeholders are now demanding um, faster, more efficient, more viable, more effective solutions that are making everyone's life easier. And considering our limitations, I think they'll be very very helpful. Even though we are quite skeptic about uh, artificial general intelligence mm, having broader roles in a society, but we will probably get there by 2035, and there will be significant regulation by that time. So we will have much more. In At the moment, we have more relaxed attitude, and especially in USA, in China, and in other countries, artificial intelligence is being the rules governing artificial intelligence, and especially their negative effects, are being sort of are being relaxed in a sense. But by 2035, we're expecting that there will be especially more pushback against its harms, and of course regulations and rules and whatnot. Our laws will follow alongside with that innovation, that particular innovation. So there we go. I think it's always difficult to project towards the future, considering specifically this day and age, because at the moment we are moving so fast, we are innovating so fast, and it's almost impossible to have grasp on what's happening around us. So the pace of information, the pace of evolution is almost now out of touch of our normal human perception. So that will be specifically uh, f- uh, crowded area that companies and innovators will focus on in order to solve that issue. Um, and maybe we can say also artificial intelligence, like related to artificial intelligence, um, medicine also will be drastically different than today's current situation, considering considering the fact that we have medical shortages, many people are leaving the industry because of the burnout, because of the low salaries, and etc. And the current unhappiness of people with medical service that they're receiving. I think, especially for elderly people, counseling services, um, as well as elderly care like mental health care, etc. Services in nursing homes. Um, these areas are going to be especially in the focus of technological innovation. We want to conclude that it's always difficult to predict the future. It has been always difficult to foresee what is the next 10 years will look like. And specifically relevant for today's day and age, that giving a prognosis, giving a projections, um, how and what the world as we know it today will change and will evolve into in 10 years is extremely difficult, and understandably so. So given the difficulty of this task, I think um, we would love to wait and see how um, the world will look like. Many people nowadays, especially younger generation, have quite difficult time to um, see the future as positive, but we want to push back on this because we have seen the progress. We have seen, even though it is slow, it is difficult, even though it is always in the short term. If we look at with the lens, with a shorter lens, we always see the world as non non unjust and unprogressive, not going anywhere, no positive change, etc. But positive change are always silent, and they are not gathering much attention in our primate brains, primal brains. So, with that in mind, we would love to see these three prognoses, um, and maybe all of them will fail. Maybe we don't, because of our limitation, our mind's limitation for um, forecasting. Maybe none of them will come true, but the fact that we can make some predictions, the fact that we are able to see the patterns, um, is fascinating. And I think that is the note that I want to live with today's Tech Week episode. What do you think about technological progression and how everything will look like? Will be any significant change in how world works, or will not be any breakthroughs by 2035, and we will basically live by our lives? Will Do you think the world will be more positive place, more prosperous, or compared to today, or much worse off by 2035? Let us know in the comment section in this podcast, or you can leave a comment in our YouTube sessions, um, in our YouTube videos. We share every episode on YouTube from now, so you can check them out as well. It will really support our work, and it will support our mission of making technology safer, more accessible, more understandable. Thank you so much for joining. Today's our session, and thank you for listening. And see you in the next episode. Stay safe.